Following the video where I used these lovely inks to make a small bowl, a lot of people have been saying to me, why don't you do one of your big bowls with it? Because it looks so beautiful in that little, proper moulded bowl. So, yeah, okay, we'll do that. I will say I do requests, so let's get stuck in. Okay, so the resin I'm going to be using is a Apex High Gloss, my usual favourite resin. Now, because this is so shallow, I could use the one coat resin, which cures, it's demoldable within a couple of hours. It's crazy stuff. However, I think that when I'm making one of these bowls, when I did that, it put me under a little bit too much time pressure, because the window of opportunity for the bending and all that, you've got to get it just right. So I think I prefer to buy myself a bit more time and just take my time and use the normal resin, which will take a good number of hours, even in this nice warm room, to get to that stage. What I'll do though is sort of check it probably after 2 hours and then every hour, because what we want is a nice bendy sheet basically. But it's got to be firm enough to demold it without leaving fingerprints all over it or stretching it or anything like that. So this resin is a medium viscosity. I think it normally takes, I don't know, I leave it overnight usually, so probably 16 hours, something like that, because I sort of make something in the afternoon and then demold it the next morning. So, but it very much depends on your room temperature, of course. So let's see how we get on this time. I'm thinking it will probably be ready to do the bendy thing around somewhere between 6 and 10 hours. So at the moment it is late morning. So I'm thinking, yeah, by this evening maybe. I'm being really vague because what I do is I just keep coming upstairs and I having a peer at it and just, sort of picking up the sides of the mould and seeing how it behaves. Right, I think we're mixed up. So all this is, it's just clear. Basically going to do a big version of the technique I used with the little bowl that everybody reacted so well to. So that's all nicely stirred up. As you can see, I have, as usual, introduced a few little micro bubbles, but I don't worry about that because this resin just degasses anyway. But it's gone clear, so there's no sort of stringy lines and things in it. And that's how you know that it's stirred up properly. I really ought to get my stirring thingy out. I've got a proper stirring machine, and I've used it a couple of times. It's awesome, and I haven't used it since. I just need to get my workspace organised. Right, let's see how deep that is. I might need a little bit more. Obviously, it's got to be thick enough to be to form into a bowl and not be too fragile for words, but it doesn't want to be too thick. I think I'll just want a little bit more. So let's mix up a few more squirts out of my nice pump bottles. So unlike last time I tried to do a big bowl, this will all be done in one pour, which is far more sensible when you're trying to make a bowl, really. I mean, I made it work and I ended up with quite a spectacular bowl, as you may remember. But it was a bit of it was stressful. Let's just say it was stressful because I was constantly having to check on whether it had cured or not and what stage it was at and what about the layer before, was that too cured, and it just went on and on and on. I was so worried about it. Right, there we go. So this hopefully, let's give it a little bit of help. This hopefully will be about the right thickness. Okay, the glitter I've decided on is this kind of like a rose gold colour. Is that what it's called? Yeah, rose gold. So we're going to put a little bit of this around the edges first. It's from Just For You Online. Now, if anybody's looking for any of these products, by the way, I do have discount codes for quite a lot of them. I don't think I do for the mould, but for the, let's have a look. Yes, for the inks I do. Metallic ink, I've got a 20% discount code for you, which is amazing, isn't it? I can't believe they gave us that. Everything else, it varies between 10 and 15%. I know the glitter's 15 and the resin. So yeah, do use my discount codes because it's well worth having. So we've got quite a lot of glitter there. Now, I didn't put glitter in the last one, so that's a new thing for this one, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful? Right. Shall we have a bit of a move around? Let's get all these bottles off here. So we can move this into the centre. There we are. As I've used the bottles, so I know which ones I have used, I'll move them to the side there. Right, each one will need a good shake. These are these metallic set of 12 metallic colours from INKS Resin. So we're going to give each one a good shake, and then we're just going to put quite a lot in the centre and keep letting it spread. Now, like I said, if you do something this big, it's going to use a lot of ink, even though these are extremely intense. So you might want to, experiment with something small like a coaster first, or the little bowl that I did the other day. You see it all spreading? Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll zoom you into the centre, because the outside at the moment isn't that interesting. But the centre sure is. Let's get you centred up. Oh, there we are. Now the gold takes over rather, so don't use too much of the gold. Next we're going to go in with will be the dark grey. Let's have the one that they have jokingly called brown. Look at that. It's not just brown, it's gorgeous. It is the most lush sort of coppery colour. It's just beautiful. Now, this is a different sort of gold. This is just called gold. The first one was called deep gold. Like I said, don't forget the gold to take over rather, so go a bit sparing with those. This is fun. Now what I found when I demoulded the silver grey, when I demoulded the little bowl that I did, those of you who've seen it will know what I mean. I'll put you a link for it, for that specific video, up at the top of the screen here. It'll be up the top there. Now you'll know that I was kind of a bit surprised by the effect of some of these. They didn't do at all what I thought they were going to do. And then when I unmoulded the bowl, the back looked interesting. The front was amazing. So yeah, they do some very interesting things. Now I'm going to put in a bit of the brown actual alcohol ink now. This is just normal alcohol ink from INKS Resin, as opposed to a metallic. And you know what? I haven't opened that one. Oh, somebody asked me where I got these pins from for opening the bottles, and what they were. They're just like sewing pins, because then you get a nice, neat little hole. Did I just splash a bit? I don't know. And I'm sure they were from Amazon or something. I've had them for years. Oh, that's nice. That's a really rich brown, isn't it? Lovely. Okay. So this one is called Golden. Let's go in with that next. I thought this would spread more evenly in circles, but it seems to be something is bothering it. Is it me? Is it frightened of me? Is it pushing away from me? I don't know. This one is called Red Wine. You can see I am using quite a lot. Green gold. Let's have green gold next. I think there's a red gold as well, if I remember rightly. Now I'm going to put quite a lot on that one, because the gold hasn't taken over too much yet. Ruby red. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a bit of this glitter in the middle. It's spreading nicely. This is going to be quite an interesting effect, I think. So let's just put, I intended it to, I didn't intend it to go all over the place like that. So here you go, let's sprinkle a bit around as well. And then we're going to go in with red gold. I'm hoping I'll push that glitter around. And should we have some more ink? Actual ink. This is called Coffee, and it's really dark. I think what I'm going to do is upset this a little bit. I'm going to stir it, move it. I'm just going to move it around a little bit, because I think I've trapped that glitter. If you do this, then just be careful not to scratch your mould in the process. You're just skimming the surface. It's quite mesmerising. Okay, I'm going to go back into the centre, and we keep going in with these colours. Let's have bronze next. I mean, the thing with this is you don't know what the other side's going to look like, do you? It's a magical mystery tool. Let's have an awful lot of that. It's the dark grey. Let's get it to like spread. I think what's happening is the alcohol is actually evaporating on here, and it's creating this like a gold skin. But what's going on underneath? Who knows? Almost tempted to put a bit of white sinker over it afterwards, but I don't know. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Go on, you can do it. Deep gold. Let's go red wine again. Where's that one that's just called brown? There it is. Let's get a patch of real colour in there. And don't forget, if you're mixing alcohol inks into your resin, you're going to, if you put too much, you're going to impede the ability of the resin to cure. If you're putting it on the surface, a lot of the alcohol is actually just going to evaporate. So it's not quite such an issue. I mean, obviously some of this is going to sink, but it's not such an issue when it sits on the surface. So you can put quite a lot on. If you find you then get a layer that does kind of not settle properly, I'm trying to think how to explain it, so that you rub it and you get a bit come off on your hands when it's dry, that's what I mean, then just by all means go ahead and put a top coat over it. It should be okay. It's a bit trial and error. I do find I can put quite a lot onto the surface without it being any sort of an issue. Red gold, and look, it's all starting to surface again. Crazy. And I've got a negative space there. I don't care, because this is all part of the fun. Right. I'm feeling I need more depth to this colour. So where's the brown alcohol ink again? I kind of want it to be dark in the centre. I think you just watch alcohol inks dance all day. Now, it's not spreading as far as I thought it would. Whether it will in time, I'm not sure. I think I might do some around this side. Funny how the gold floats, isn't it? Initially, you get a blob that sinks where you first put it in, but then the rest floats. It's really strange. If you want to see how this behaved, like I said, I'll put you a link to that video where I did all the testing initially on these. Let's go in with coffee again. Just one drip. And that's brought the gold back up to the surface. It's really strange how this stuff behaves. It really is. It's because the metallics behave so differently to the ones that are actually gold and silver. And then different again to the... I don't know. They're just strange. Did I get any ruby red in this one? Not sure. Going back round again. A bit more. I want to get pretty much full coverage, basically. That's where I'm going with this. Let's go with the silver grey. I'm going in where all the voids are, really. That's what I'm doing at the moment. I might give all this a swirl in a minute, I don't know. I wanted the glitter to push out to the edges more than this, I know that. This is the brown Let's Resin ink. Let's put some of that in the middle of the silver. I found if I didn't put some other ink in, it was all a little bit pale. Beautiful, very beautiful and pale, but I kind of felt it needed a bit more weight somehow when I did this before. I didn't go quite as mad, obviously. We'll see. Where's golden gone? There it is. So again, just filling voids and being it's getting a bit random now. I was hoping I'd be putting it in the centre and it'd just keep pushing it out. Now, I'm sure it probably would if I'd actually mixed it in with resin and put it in, because that's how blooms and things like that work, isn't it? But it kind of wasn't what I wanted to do. I wanted to see what we could do with just dropping the inks. So what I've decided to do now is just go around the edges, because I really want this glitter to push out. But resin's doing what resin does, it's pulling in. So I've gone around the edges with some of the dark silver grey. Put a bit of that in the middle as well, just to try to pull it out a bit more. I've gone pretty much all the way around. Can you see it shimmering? The sunlight's now coming in through my craft room window and it's making everything shimmer. So this might be a mistake, I don't know. We will see. Right, I'm going to leave it now. That glitter will either go out to the edges or it won't. I've decided. It's not a problem. I could put more glitter, but I think I kind of like it as it is. So we're going to leave it. We are not going to touch, we're going to stop messing, aren't we, Tracy? So I've gone right out to the edges. As you can see, the glitter hasn't got right out to the edges. I'm sorry, I forgot to zoom you back out. But hopefully seeing what was going on there was interesting and you could see enough around the edges. Really sorry about that. I can't redo it, can I? Anyway, as you can see, the glitter hasn't gone quite to the edges, and despite me pulling it out like that, it still hasn't. I'm just going to leave it like that anyway. I'm dying to see what the other side looks like, because this is kind of funky, isn't it? And yeah, if I end up with clear edges, I'm not going to worry too much, because I can actually edge it with a marker, you know, a metallic marker pen. So I will see you later when it gets to that right sort of stage. I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. Just the right level of bendiness is what I'm looking for. Okay, see you later. Okay, we're right at the right stage, I think. Now I'm going to put my gloves on. Oh, I tend to forget this, but while it's still bendy, it's probably still, you know, giving off stuff. So you probably should be putting gloves on while it's still bendy, and I'm a devil for forgetting. Anyway, let's get it out. Oh yeah, this is, look, see, nice and bendy. That is just how we want it. Now let's have a look at the other side. Oh, that's pretty. And the bit of mad swirling I did actually worked. I like it. So what we're going to do is going to get my trusty little bowl. And so this, let's have a look. Let's get that out of the way. Let's have a look. This is going to be the inside of the bowl. That's going to be the outside. Now they're both actually really pretty. Difficulty I find is finding the middle. Yeah. About there. And what we can do with doing is putting a bit of a mat over it first. Where are we? Incidentally, my silicone mats, to keep them wound up, and this works for like your anything you've got in rolls, like your vinyl and things like that. I tend to use these. I bought a big pack of them, and they are those snap bracelet things. Because when you put it around something, it does that. Isn't that? I don't know how they work. Anyway, it's clever. And I got those cheap from, I think it was Temu. Anyway, just a thought for you. Well, I've got it in my hand. Now, that looks like about the centre. There we are. Now, the reason I put the silicone mat over it is so it doesn't stick. Oh, I've probably knocked it off centre again now. Oh, anyway. Let's see what it looks like. So we're going to push this down, and what you can do is tape it down. But I think what I did last time, I put some heavy things all around it, didn't I? And so I think I'm going to go with that method again. Okay, there's one. These are my bottles of polyurethane resin. And let's put one there. Look at it trying to push it back. Blimey. Probably could have done with getting at this about 20 minutes earlier. So if you're going to do 4 points, it goes really easily. But then you've really got to get it. Hang on a minute. Let's try doing it inside a bowl instead. Where's my bigger bowl? I've not done one like that, have I? So this is a new one for me. Now I know it can be done because I've seen people do it. So this isn't me oops. This isn't me inventing something. Is that going to inhibit it? I think that might get in the way. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to spray some silicone release spray around it just in case. There we go. Mould release lubricant. Let's just spray some of this around it. It's just that I've had something else that I did in a bowl. It wasn't like this, because I've never done it like this before, but I've had resin actually stick inside a bowl before now and not be able to get it out. It's a pity about that edge. That's where I disturbed it when I was trying to work out whether it was ready or not. It is causing a crinkle effect around the edges. But you know what? I'm going to ignore that. It kind of just is what it is. Now, I'm going to have to do some rearranging because it hasn't gone in any shape or form even. I don't necessarily expect it to be symmetrical. I do want it to have some sort of organised feel to it. This is difficult. This is difficult. Make no bones about it. I'm finding this difficult. Anybody who does a lot of these, feel free to chip in with some tips. As I said, normally I do it over the back of the bowl like I was going to. And that's actually easier, but I think I might get a different result like this, so why not? I'm pleased with the pattern and the colours. I really am. Is that uniform enough? Uniform but irregular at the same time, you know what I mean? I've got... That's not bad actually, is it? See, it wants to look not quite perfect, which is good because I think it'd be nigh on impossible to get it perfect. without having an actual mould to force it into. I think that's good enough. I mean, I could make this one a little bit bigger. Could move that around a bit. Like so. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it like that. I like the fact that it's not symmetrical. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. It is crinkling the resin around the edges. But again, I'm going to go with it. I kind of don't mind. Right, I'm going to leave that a few hours now. And yeah, when it's rock hard, what I'll be doing is just going around these edges with a pen. Don't know what colour yet. I'm still thinking about that. But look at those colours. Now, on the video where I demoed these, because I was experimenting and practicing and kind of learning how they behaved and what they did, someone posted in the comments that it was an epic fail or something. No, they said they were a disaster. That was it. That was the word. Wouldn't call that a disaster, would you? I was glad I went through that process of experimenting to learn the best way to use them. And I'm sure there's other ways as well, but like, this is the best way I've found. So I just had a thought. I'm sure I've seen this on someone else's videos. I can't remember who, so apologies whoever I've stolen this idea from. If it was you, please put your link below, because I honestly have no idea. But yes, some of these that are starting to close up a bit more than I liked. So paper cups or whatever you've got, bottle tops, anything. But I just happen to have a lot of these paper cups. I don't think it's actually level in here either, but it's going to be nigh on impossible to move it now. That should help give it some sort of structure. And I have just warmed this up a little bit with my heat gun just to help this process. There we are. Ah. Okay, back to plan A. I'll see you later. Right. Is it demold? I'm not sure that's the term, but look, there's a little tip for you. Spraying that release spray, it's just a silicone spray, I think, into the bowl. That has made this just pop out really easily. And as you can see, it's rigid. So I just need to give the little bowl a wipe round and we're done. Now, yes, that's all I can say. Back's nice. The front is nice. As you can see, because I was forcing it into that bowl, I did get some crinkling around the edges, but you know what? Quite liked it. Now, I'm just going to hold this into the sun where you can see it better because the sun is coming into my craft room, so let's take advantage of it. Bear with me one moment. It's hard with the reflections. But to anybody who thought these inks weren't much good when I first showed them with the early experiments, we're trying it in hearts and things, and then we're impressed with the bowl at the end, there you are. Those of you who waited till the end to see them, once I'd learnt what to do with them, you're absolutely right. They are gorgeous. Look at that. And I think that addition of that little bit of glitter really helped too. Now, I'm going to do the edges on it and then we will get it outside in the sun properly a little later. So let's get the edges done now. And now I'm questioning myself, do I do the edges or not? I think I'm going to, just because I don't usually. So it would be nice to do one where I did. And in view of the colours in here, I'm torn between two colours. I don't think I want to overpower it with gold. So let's have a look at these two. I've got champagne, which is like a very pale gold. And I've got copper. So let's see what these look like. Okay, so those are the two colours. That's champagne, which is like somewhere between a silver and a gold. It's very pale. And that's the copper. And I think I'm going for the copper. This set of pens, by the way, it's from Just For You Online, and it's especially designed for edging resin with. And they do extra colours like the champagne, and there's one called Blush, which has got like a slightly pinky tinge to it. Absolutely beautiful. So this is where you can see the resin crinkled. You don't get that if you go over the outside of the bowl. So I think this is just because it puts it under more sort of stretching and squishing when you put it inside the bowl. But I think that's given it kind of like a nice organic look, actually. I think I'd have preferred it smooth, but it is what it is, and I don't dislike it. Now, these pens you don't need to top coat over if it's for normal use. You'd have to really seriously scratch at it or get some alcohol on it or something to get it off. It stays really rather well. Right, because this has gone crinkly in places, it's a little bit harder to go around with the pen than usual. But anyway, you see what I'm doing. The next shots you'll see will be some proper good close-ups and things outside in the sunshine, because we have got a beautiful morning here in England. So if you want some proper close-ups so you can see the detail of this, which I would recommend you do, then hang around, because there'll be a few shots at the end of this video. In the meantime, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. And if after my last video you were thinking, should I get some of those inks or not? Well, the choice is yours. I'm glad I've got them, let's just put it like that. But as you know, this isn't a sales channel, this is a craft channel. I just share my thoughts with you on the products that I try and share my crafting. And my learning curve, which a lot of this is learning curve, because half the time I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So I hope it's useful. Don't forget the firm that the pens, I know I've got a 15% discount code on the resin and that glitter. And the actual, the metallic colours that we used, the inks, pigments, whatever they're calling them on the website at the moment, those there's a 20% discount on. So go for it. Enjoy. But if you do, don't forget to use that discount code, because obviously that's pretty substantial. I was quite blown away when they offered those sort of levels of discounts for us all. So I hope you can make the most of them. Right, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and drop me a comment then, and I will see you in a few minutes for, well, a few blink of an eye for you, for the photos and a sort of a final in the sun so you can really see the glory of these inks, and then I'll see you for the next video. Take care everyone, and enjoy whatever you're doing this next week with your craft.